One sunny morning, Shaun stumbled upon something shiny behind the barn. It was a bright red tractor, perfectly clean and glowing in the sunlight. The other animals gathered around curiously. Who left this here? Shaun wondered aloud. Bitzer, the dog, barked nervously. He had never seen that tractor before. Shaun's eyes sparkled with mischief. "Let's take it for a little ride," he whispered. As he climbed into the seat, a gust of wind made the barn door creak open behind him. Something exciting was about to begin. Shaun revved the engine, the sound echoing across the field, startling the birds into flight. The animals watched with both fear and excitement. As Shaun drove the tractor around, Bitzer ran alongside cautiously, barking at intervals as if trying to offer guidance or perhaps a warning. "It's incredible," Shaun thought, maneuvering around haystacks and puddles with a newfound sense of adventure. Each turn brought a new thrill, and soon the other animals were cheering, spurred on by Shaun's daring escapade. The sheep, usually docile, followed in a chaotic parade, bleating joyously in the wake of the tractor. As Shaun circled back towards the barn, he noticed something strange. The ground slightly trembled beneath the wheels. The familiar landscape seemed subtly changed. "Is the tractor doing this?" Shaun wondered, puzzled. Suddenly, the tractor sputtered and came to a slow halt. Silence enveloped the field once more, save for the gentle rustle of the breeze and the distant cawing of a crow. Shaun jumped down, peering at the now lifeless machine with curiosity. Bitzer approached cautiously, sniffing at the tires. The other animals gathered, nudging Shaun with questions only he could hear. Shaun inspected the tractor, noticing a peculiar emblem on the side, one he had not noticed before. Just as Shaun was about to investigate further, a shadow fell across the barnyard. The farmer appeared, scratching his head in confusion. "Where on earth did that come from?" he muttered, as bewildered as his animal friends. Shaun glanced at his fellow animals with a shared look of wonder and understanding. They had discovered something strange, maybe even magical, but just as quickly as it had appeared, the mystery of the red tractor would have to wait. Shaun pressed a button on the dashboard. The red tractor roared to life. Its engine coughed, rumbled, and then zoomed forward, knocking over a haystack. Bitzer screamed and chased behind. The animals scattered, clucking and ba and gee in panic. Shaun struggled with the controls, but he was smiling from ear to ear. The red tractor charged through the fields, running over laundry lines and vegetable patches. Farmer was nowhere to be seen yet. The chaos had only just begun. As Shaun sped across the meadow, the wheels of the mighty red machine left deep imprints on the soft earth. Bitzer, the ever-diligent dog, panted and pushed his paws as fast as they could carry him, determined to catch up. Behind him, Shirley the sheep was caught in the accidental rampage, her wool snagging on a stray branch, but she wiggled free just in time. The soundtrack of chaos was a mishmash of rustling leaves, clattering machinery, and the unmistakable noises of animated animals trying to dodge the unexpected traffic. The pigs, surprisingly nimble despite their bulk, performed acrobatic maneuvers to avoid the tractor's path. As the tractor neared the edge of the field, Shaun attempted to steer the beast back toward the barn. A fortuitous bump sent the steering wheel spinning. The mighty tractor spun in graceful circles, its wheels throwing up clods of dirt, while Shaun laughed, joy lighting up his eyes. The crescendo approached as the red tractor veered dangerously close to the duck pond. With a quick turn, aided by Bitzer's frantic barking and guidance, Shaun managed to steer clear of the water, saving the ducks from their unintended baptism. Finally, the tractor began to slow, its engine huffing and wheezing as it came to a gradual, merry halt, right back where it had started. Bitzer collapsed onto the grass, exhausted but relieved, ensuring all the animals were accounted for. As the dust settled and chaos subsided, Shaun climbed down from the seat, patting the hood of the tractor with a satisfied grin. He knew Farmer would return soon, but for now, the adventure was their secret. It was a day filled with accidental heroics and uncharted chaos. One sunny afternoon at Mossy Bottom Farm, the usually calm life of the flock was about to get exciting. Shaun the Sheep, always up for a bit of mischief, had decided to take the farm's shiny new red tractor for a spin. To anyone else, it was just a regular day, but Shaun felt like an adventurer setting sail for undiscovered lands. But as Shaun sat behind the wheel, something bizarre seemed to happen. The tractor, seemingly of its own will, began to roll forward. Excited, Shaun waved at his friends, but as he approached the chicken coop, the laughter turned into loud squawks. The wheel caught the edge of the coop, and with a sound like nails on a chalkboard, it sent the startled chickens launching into the air. "Oops!" Shaun shouted as feathers and chaos filled the air. Bitzer, the trusty sheepdog, saw the commotion and sprang into action. With a heroic leap, he caught one of the airborne chickens with his face. Splat went the bird, leaving Bitzer blinking and covered in feathers. The rest of the flock watched in horror, their heads bobbing in time with the erratic movement of the tractor. Shaun giggled despite the mayhem, his hooves now gripping the wheel like never before, but things were getting out of control. The tractor didn't just have a mind of its own, it seemed to have a mischievous streak as well. Veering left, it began making a beeline straight toward the pond. Panic surged. Shaun had to regain control. The pond was no place for a tractor, and it certainly wouldn't help Shaun's reputation with the farmer if he came back with a tractor soggy and waterlogged. With a determined look in his eye, he yanked the wheel, trying to turn the tractor away from the imminent splashdown. The chickens, having gathered their wits, landed haphazardly around the field, their feathers settling in a soft, snowy blanket over everything. Bitzer, now chicken-free, ran alongside the runaway tractor, barking orders and doing his best to avoid falling into the pond himself. With one final effort, Shaun managed to tilt the wheel just enough to avoid the water. The tractor finally jerking to a halt inches from the pond's edge. A nervous giggle escaped from Shaun as the flock gathered around, their eyes as wide as saucers. Shaun shrugged sheepishly and laughed. "Guess we're done farming for the day." Despite the chaos, everyone knew this red tractor escapade would be another story to laugh about on long winter nights, nestled safe in the barn. With a playful nudge, Bitzer herded the sheep back to the barn, while Shaun dreamed of what mischief next awaited on Mossy Bottom Farm. With a wild bounce, the tractor hit a pile of hay and launched itself into the air. The world slowed down as Shaun and the red tractor soared like a superhero duo. Then, splash! It landed directly into the pond. Water flew everywhere, soaking Bitzer and the pigs nearby. Shaun climbed out of the tractor, dripping wet but giggling. The red paint sparkled even under the water. "That was awesome," Shaun said. Bitzer looked ready to faint. The farm was usually a tranquil place, with lush green fields stretching as far as the eye could see and animals grazing peacefully. But today was different. Today was chaos. It all started when Shaun, the mischievous leader of the flock, found a way to start the farm's prized red tractor. His curiosity got the better of him, and before anyone could stop him, Shaun was driving it straight towards the pond. Bitzer, the ever-watchful sheepdog, barked in alarm, but it was too late. The tractor zoomed across the farmyard, sending chickens fluttering in frantic circles and narrowly missing a startled duck. The wheels skidded, kicking up mud and screeched to a halt just as it splashed into the water, floating awkwardly. In the midst of this bedlam, the farmer emerged from the barn holding a bucket of fish intended for lunch. His eyes widened in disbelief as he took in the scene. Water splattered everywhere, clucking uproar amongst his chickens that were now inverted, and his beloved tractor residing in the pond, still vibrating from the escapade. Everyone stopped. Shaun stood motionless, his face plastered with an innocent grin, though he felt anything but innocent. The rest of the animals froze too, caught in the anticipation of what would follow next. Even Bitzer, usually so responsible, had decided that staying as still as possible was a good strategy under the circumstances. For a few seconds, there was silence, broken only by the soft ripple of water against metal. Then, sensing trouble, Shaun let out a loud baa and leapt into action, darting away from the scene. The farmer, still trying to comprehend the sight before him, lost his grip on the bucket. He gave chase, only to slip on the pond-slick grass and land with a soggy thud. From the safety of the barn's shadow, Shaun watched as the farmer, covered in mud, shouted in frustration. The red tractor, meanwhile, almost seemed to gleam in its triumph, basking in the mischief it had inadvertently caused. Shaun knew the fun had to end, but as he watched the world's slow downfall into chaos, he couldn't help but feel a small sense of satisfaction. It was another day of fun and mayhem at the farm, a day that neither Shaun nor the farmer would soon forget, though for very different reasons.